working.
Yeah. Oh, Winnie just opened his
Oh,
eyes.
sorry.
He didn't launch up.
There's a puppy that's like sitting down here,
He's on
being
Jeff's
a
lap.
baby. Yeah, he's being the babyest. I forgot to grab my wand. I don't want to be Voldemort today. I'll be Hermione.
That's a good sentence. You think he ever wakes up and he's just like, I don't want to be Voldemort today. I want to be Thomas. Today.
It started kind of like, he started on this journey and then was just like, well, I guess I can't stop it. Just gotta keep going.
Full of regrets.
Also, Jeff got me this shirt. Yes. It's my birthday month, and Jeff was like, so I don't like waiting for presents, and I don't like keeping secrets. So when offered the option, do you want it now? I was like, yes, I want it now. And it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, oh my gosh, Hellfire Club. So. Yes.
Yeah, we did not put it on the bed to see if Winnie wants it. But he probably does. Let's just assume.
So for my new merch, which I don't even know if the merch shelf is on all my videos, I feel like I pushed a button that was like, yeah, sure. Winnie decided, he was like, I love this orange t-shirt. It's mine forever. You're
Okay.
so baby.
You want to go into your bed?
You're so baby. Hello, and welcome to Magical Theory Podcast Time.
Go down, please. You go in your bed?
Aw.
Magical
So,
Theory Podcast time.
how it's finally cooling off in
Yes.
Arizona.
Yes, it is. Yes. It's in the 90s.
It's in the 90s. Good job.
It's not
We did
like-
it.
I wouldn't say it's cold.
It's fall.
I wouldn't say it's fall. It's just not summer.
It's not summer.
It's
Yeah.
not midsummer.
Yeah, okay.
Summer here is like 6 months.
Forever.
We're in the back half of summer, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Temperature decreases. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This morning you were like, it's cold in the apartment. That was the
I
first
was cold.
coldness that I've heard.
That's why I'm wearing this 3/4 sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
I normally
It was
wear-
a little bit cold, especially where we were standing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yesterday I watched Cinderella with Emma Stone.
Yes.
Or Cinderella.
Whoa, no, that was not right. Cruella.
Cruella. Totally different. Cruella.
It is quite different.
Cinderella. You know what? Emma Stone should just play Cinderella. Why not? Because she plays a bunch of characters.
She's already in the Disney
God.
CU.
Yeah. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I like movies that have, like, it had a very particular, I'm obviously not well versed in terminology for film, but I just like the way that it looked. The way that they designed, like, the color grading of it, and just everything about it I liked. It was very enjoyable.
That was not the most important thing that happened yesterday.
No,
The
it
most
was
important
not, I
thing
guess.
was that you got me to watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh my God.
For the first time.
Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite movie
Not the Ale Trail.
ever. It's like that and Hercules and a Goofy movie. So, because we
Yes.
have the $1.99 for 1 month, well, because I'm going to cancel it probably.
When I was at the mall, I saw stuff from the Goofy movie. I thought about getting it for
What
you.
merch is from a Goofy movie? Did it just have the title on the shirt?
No, it had like Goofy's face.
Oh.
Yeah. And it said the Goofy movie or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Or a Goofy movie.
A Goofy movie,
A
yeah.
Goofy movie.
A Goofy
Yeah,
movie, yeah. And yeah, so Jeff watched Nightmare Before Christmas. I guess I didn't realize how short of a movie it was, because you were like, "Oh, it was really short," and I was like,
Yeah, because
oh,
I like made a pizza during it and stuff, so I
Yeah.
was like, what, so the time went by fast.
Yes, A Nightmare Before Christmas, The Nightmare.
Oh,
now
cool.
I'm getting A's in those. In the The Nightmare Before Christmas is a wonderful movie. It is about feeling
It's you know,
jaded and trying something new and having an experience
then
that's
love.
different. And then love. Yeah, that part kind
Somehow.
of got rushed, but oh well. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it really gets slammed in there. It's not even clear that they know each other before. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it was good. Will I watch it again?
Summary.
Probably not entirely.
Well, we're going to watch it for Christmas. No, we're not.
Yeah, we'll pop it on there, but I'll be in and out.
So, this week's Hogwarts Legacy Lore was tricky. I thought that I would have it, like, because, so this is what I said to Jeff. I was like, Because I tell him, I don't think I told you actually the clues this week.
Yes, we talked about
Well,
them.
not till midweek when I said, oh, I might change clue number 3.
Oh.
So I have been trying to make it more difficult, and then people were going in a different direction, and I was like, oh no, I've led them astray. So the first clue was communication.
Yes.
People came up with some really interesting guesses. There's a lot of ways that witches and wizards communicate with each other, and I thought that was really cool. Because then I was like, maybe I should do a video about communications in Hogwarts Legacy. Then the second clue was flying. And I was going to make the third clue paper, but then everyone started, like, converging on Outpost, and I was like, is paper going to, like, lead them to a different result, or what do I do? So then we talked about airplane, because the full title, I think, I don't know. I think the full title of the object is Ministry of Magic Interdepartmental Memos.
Yes.
In the thing that we pulled out, I shortened it to just say Ministry Memos.
That's because that's how we referred to them in
Wizards Unite. Well, it's technically called Interdepartmental Memos in the registry, I think.
I know, but
we
still
called them, yes. So that's where those clues came from, and why I said airplane at the end is because I was like, I don't want people to get it wrong.
Well, yeah, I thought it was good. You should make it as clear as possible, especially on the third one.
Oh my gosh.
It's not taboo. No words you can't use.
More Ravenclaw.
Well, what do you have about it?
Oh, yes. So the first thing is that we have a poll for today. So I was thinking of, we'll be chatting about 2 things that may or may not overlap. Ministry of Magic and just flying papers in general. And just because we've seen flying papers in our promotional materials. So the poll for today is more related to Ministry of Magic. Do you think we'll get communication from the Ministry of Magic in Hogwarts Legacy? The options are, yes, the Ministry will help us. Good job to whoever voted for that. 2, yes.
Yes.
But they will get in our way. No, the Ministry is clueless. And Jeff, before stream, was like, there should be a 4th option. What was your 4th option?
No, they're not going to be involved.
Oh, that is what Jeff would have voted for if I offered that as an option.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not sure that... I don't know. Maybe with the Goblin Rebellion side of things, we might wind up involved with the Ministry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So, about the memos themselves, they are a form of communication.
Yes.
And from Harry Potter Wizards Unite, I went to the actual text of the entry, which is documented. I have a giant PDF. It's like 500 pages of someone who just amazingly compiled everything. Because I started to, but I didn't have everything.
No.
And it was just really nice. And I have that as a Google or a PDF saved. Maybe I should share it on the Discord so other people can browse through it as we sort for information. So communication across all departments by the British Ministry of Magic is facilitated by interdepartmental memos. Purple, self-propelled paper airplanes.
Specifically purple?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think in the image that I had, it was like there were shades. It was like pink and purple, but it's like of that color
I could see being
family.
like, depending on what department it's from, it's like, hey, this is a magic.
Or like the level of
magical
emergency.
Games and sports.
It's like this is an emergency or this is like standard. You know how like I don't know if you. I'm trying to think of like I think it was not at Fresno State, but I think at U of A there were different like indicators that you could send with your email that was like the level of urgency.
Yeah. I never ever use any of them.
Yeah, it's like 911
when people
emergency.
do, it annoys me.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm like, is this actually an emergency? No, it's not.
It's just like time
you wouldn't
sensitive.
Send it in an email.
All
sure,
caps
time
because
sensitive.
people procrastinate. But anyway, the previous communication at the ministry was owls. They used owls.
Yeah, just pooping all over the place.
Until they were like, oh, owls poop everywhere.
Yes,
so
I remember that discussion in the book.
Can you imagine, like, you're just headed to work. I
think it's Arthur Weasley telling Harry in Order of the Phoenix.
You need a hat just in case some flying poop comes raining down on you.
It's a much better idea. Whoever thought of it should get a raise.
The airplanes?
Yes, instead of owls.
It must be someone who, well, I don't know. I guess wizards don't have airplanes. It must have been someone
they could see him.
Who was like who knew of Muggle paper airplanes and was like, "Hey, we can enchant these."
You don't think wizard kids just fold up pieces of paper like, hey, look at this?
What concept of an airplane would they have?
We've seen Draco make, just in the movie, a little swan.
Do you think they have... Yeah, they have origami clubs, too.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess.
One of the stranger, more erotic moments of Draco's existence.
Oh, dear. A fun fact... when Gareth Greengrass was revealed as a respected member of the Unforgivable, Constance also revealed something. She said that Gareth used an owl to send his interdepartmental memos instead of the flying airplanes. And she was like...
Was that allowed?
I know. She was like, I thought he was old-fashioned. And then they found out that I totally forgot this.
Yeah.
The owl was a transfigured potion cabinet.
It wasn't even a real owl.
It wasn't a real owl. And I was like,
it was technically transfigured, right? I think we've talked about that before.
What is happening? Like I erased that from my memory, but I had joy in finding that one more time because I was
I didn't.
Dear.
I don't know if I ever knew that.
So what happened was like when they untransfigured or whatever, when they reversed the transfiguration, there were some vials in there, and this is like, again, like, hello, where's your safety protocol? So apparently a couple of aurors were like, oh, we'll test it out. And so it was Polyjuice Potion, and that's how they found out that there were vials for Hermione and for, I forgot.
Oh, I do not remember this.
I know, this was like kind of like near the end when they were like speeding things up.
Playing.
And so this was still before they realized.
I missed the story. This is important.
Yeah.
So there's something interesting. We're on magical theory.
Yes.
This is very interesting. So there's an original form of the thing. So my interpretation generally of transfiguration was like, it's a full replacement. Like it is an owl. It's not like a cabinet owl. It's an owl when it's transfigured into an owl.
That's why you do rat to teacup or whatever.
How do you know? First, can you transfigure something twice? So, cabinet into owl, owl into teacup. Is it a teacup? If you reverse it, does it go all the way back to cabinet? Or does it just go to owl?
See, this is why you're enrolled in magical theory.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, but I do know that in class, when they try, like, sometimes things if they don't do it
and the fidelity of the thing that they reversed it back to, the cabinet, is fascinating. It still has the right potions in it. So it contains that information somewhere in the owl.
Yeah, magic.
And its left wing is this one cell width
You're basically
thing.
Transforming matter.
Yes.
Into something else that materially...
It has the memory of what it used to be. Where is that thing? I'm interested.
Magic.
Is it in every cell? What if the owl gets cut in half? Can you transform it back into half of a cabinet,
If the owl gets cut in half, wouldn't it pop out of its magic form?
I don't think it's a reversion of that type. I think it's like an actual owl.
So then it dies. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Can you get two of them?
Oh my gosh. I hope this isn't like in our advanced studies. You know, these questions are probably not no, maybe they are asked at Hogwarts. It's probably
in grad school.
Yeah. We keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
We got to do grad school.
Yes.
At Hogwarts.
Yes. Subatomic magic. Yes.
I could see it really being like a comedy series. We just have a bunch of series of shorts.
It was gonna be a comedy series.
We can do it, but we can do it like now in a more reason. But we can make it short content so that we just have like an idea like this.
That's what this is.
No, what I'm saying is like we take an idea from the long rambling nonsense that we come up with in our brains, and we're like, oh, that's a short. We'll find some Legos. You said you went to the Lego store at the mall. Like, we could go find some Harry Potter Legos.
Yes.
And then we can make them grad students, and then they can be asking all these weird questions that we don't have answers to, because there's going to be a lot of them. This is like
literally the idea from 3 years ago.
I know, but now I'm like, I think...
Now you're on board.
Well, now I think we can do it in like a short form. A series of shorts because they work different on YouTube, so it's like we have a specific audience for that. I don't think everyone will like it, but it'll be fun.
We'll see.
I don't know. But back to Hogwarts Legacy,
Yes.
the Ministry of Magic's role.
Yes.
There was a mention in the State of Play blog on the PlayStation blog about the Ministry of Magic. This is the only thing, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the only thing I remember of any mention of the Ministry of Magic. It's not like in the trailers. It's, well, I don't know. That guy might be from the Ministry. I don't know. But
hard to tell.
The quote is, to unearth the mysteries behind ancient magic and stop Ranrock's rebellion, you'll need a friend and mentor to guide you along the way. Enter Professor Eleazar Fig. Professor Fig, whose investigations into rumors of a goblin rebellion have earned him an uneasy skepticism from the Ministry of Magic. So it's not even necessarily the Ministry's talking to us. It's like the Fig has some sort of relationship with the Ministry, or the Ministry is aware of Fig and what he's doing in order to investigate rumors of a goblin rebellion. It could be just a distant sort of thing,
it's like, this
like,
is part of the world. So I could definitely see, like, that there's even a yes answer here that is, like, that they're not really helpful. It's more, like, just informational. Mm-hmm. Like, there's more, like, newspaper articles and Daily Prophet stuff, and then, like, maybe, like, we see a ministry official at the school and we get a little sub-quest, and it's like, hey, the ministry wants you to investigate blah, 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 blah.
Wouldn't it be fun if, like, just periodically, it doesn't have to be often, we get a memo, it doesn't have to be an interdepartmental because that doesn't fit the context, but we get a letter via L from the ministry to be like,
how's
blah,
the quest
blah, blah.
going?
So there's two things. There's the ministry at large, which I don't think the ministry at large is going to help us. However, there could be someone who works at the ministry who has a vested interest.
Like the guy, potentially.
Yes, like the guy with the glasses who I was like, oh, this isn't the minister. He's not dressed like one. Even though I have no idea what ministers
Well, if
like.
we survived an attack, like maybe he's like...
They know, they're tracking us or they're keeping in contact.
Yeah.
It's possible, I'm saying. Like, I
would be very surprised if there's, like, no mention of the ministry. That
The
wouldn't
ministry
really
does
make a
not
lot
exist.
of sense. But how relevant it is. I mean,
Yeah.
whether we could go there, for all we know. Who knows?
We don't know.
Could go there.
We could go there.
Department of Mysteries!
Go to the department.
Yeah!
We'll find an ancient magic portal and we'll hop just right into the death chamber and see, because the veil's there, not because of death, but because the veil's there. And it's an ancient magical
Brain
artifact.
Going to the brain room.
Is the jar of brains an ancient magical artifact? I don't think so. I think they just put some brains in there and put some magic juice and
Pop the old brain in there. Who even knows if it's a brain? It could be a transfigured raccoon.
Oh my god. So, yes, we can talk about how anything can be magicked because that was my reaction to to something in this chapter. But who knows about transfiguration?
Yes, it was just in that clip. So I'm just going to walk around untransfiguring everything that I see. And be like, what are you actually? What are you? What are you?
Yes, so in the clip where we blast that was the takeaway I got is if I can blast the glass, I can blast anything. So I should use magic.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
So the second thing,
the free casting was very exciting to see.
Yeah. The second thing was about flying papers in general, which we have seen in the clips for Hogwarts Legacy. So,
did we?
Yes. So in the
going into the
Slytherin
book?
common room. So yeah. So State of Play, there's a couple, but in the Slytherin common room, and I don't know if it's in other common room shots, but there's a kid with a giant stack of books. And he's in Slytherin, but I say he's in Ravenclaw, and he's just walking by us. He's just in the background, like on the left side of the screen. You barely see him. But there's flying papers above his stack of books, which I'm like, that's weird. They kind of look like it's just like little flying bird papers floating around. Then in the State of Play, we have an Accio moment where we're just walking down a hallway. We see a flying paper and we Accio it, and it goes into a book. It's a different colored book.
Yes, I remember the scene. Yeah.
So it feels like something, I don't know, there's going to be different books is what that seems like to me. But it was just floating out in the air. I don't know what that's about. And then finally we have like the secret
Where it
like
goes-
location.
Where it goes like black and white
Yeah.
grayscale out in the
And it kind
courtyard.
of slows down and it's
In the courtyard.
and
yeah.
it unfolds
Yeah.
and scrolls out,
Yeah.
and then we put it in what looks
to our
to be
unauthorized field guide book.
unauthorized guide, field guide, unauthorized.
We have had many discussions about what this book is going to be about. Like, what is actually going on?
So one of the things
If
that
it's
I'm wondering,
for sure the thing with the core training, that's epic.
it looks like it.
the thing with all the different writing. I think it's the quest log, but then if it's also that, it's probably more than just that. It's like all of it. So
Yeah.
I also thought it'll be like our map. So it's like, oh, I want to go back here and hear my quests from that place. I don't know.
What's interesting is that it seems to be all the same handwriting so far. Like, you know how in those books that we
Merles.
have, Merles,
Papa Merles.
the books that we have that has like Harry, Ron, and Hermione writing in it,
Yeah.
they're distinctly different handwritings to
Yeah,
show
yeah,
who
or
they are.
Dumbledore and the
Yeah, so,
Tales.
but this looks like the same sort of cursive handwriting.
Maybe we get to pick our handwriting style, our font.
Okay, so this is not
Helvetica
related
Bold.
at all, but it's more modern, and it doesn't fit because we're back in the 1890s. So, when I was talking to my mom last night, we were talking about, so I have younger cousins. They're not that much younger. They're like in their early
Maybe
20s,
20s.
yeah. But they don't know how to read cursive because they were never taught it
Yeah.
in school. So I had like a kind of mind blown moment because then I was like looking at these like.
That doesn't surprise me.
weird-
I can barely read people's cursive.
But it's
I have
still
to write it. I know
because then
how to
I
write
had
it.
a lot of questions because I was like, but a bunch of like, you know, the sort of like live, laugh, love style of like that sort of like on the doormats or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are usually in cursive, so surely
You could
it's
probably read it
everywhere.
stylistically. But maybe not. Maybe they don't know the intricacies of like how you connect letters and nonsense like that.
It's total tangent, but I
Let
was
us
thinking about
let us not forget
yes.
things of this nature. Human technologies evolve all the time, and it's perfectly fine.
No, I'm not saying it's not
No,
fine.
I know you're not.
I'm like
saying
confused by it though.
when books,
so-
when written word was first
Oh my
developed
God.
in books, there were no spaces.
there were no spaces
between
I was
words.
reading,
It was just one
I should
long
pick up
string.
that book and read it again or finish it because my mind was blown
Somebody
by
had to
that
invent the space.
because stories were told
Now we've invented.
by orators and it wasn't like text written down.
Now
That blew my mind.
No. Yes. Now we have invented print text. Much easier to read. So what's wrong with that?
No wonder I couldn't read Constance Pickering's
Why do we need
signature. Just kidding.
I mean, I'm okay with like calligraphy.
Yeah.
Like meant to do things, but like if you're just trying to communicate directly, like
Yeah.
write it in a way that people can
I guess
read.
it's not any different than like stylized text like
Stylized
you're saying,
text,
where it's
yeah.
just like, oh, this is a font.
Sometimes it's yeah.
But like people's actual handwriting is imprecise. It's not like we write the
Yes,
same
I know. I've
letter
seen my
the
own
same-
handwriting. It's awful. I'm a teacher. It's bad.
Oh my gosh. I forgot what we were talking. We were talking about flying papers.
Yeah, just from Hogwarts Legacy. But I think we covered it.
Yeah. I mean, the papers could be different things. It could be spells or like hints. It could be like
The field guide, yeah.
a potion recipe.
It could be a lot. It could have sections. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm still fascinated. Let's just pause for a second on the fact that we have core training and then we had these other 4.
Yep.
Like, that's interesting. What's the deal with that? Anyway.
Wait. Were the other
waiting.
4? Sorry.
I think we only know 2
I'm
of them.
trying to Oh no, because we did get information. I was like, what if they're associated with each of the companions?
No, I don't. Well, maybe. But it was like,
Like, it doesn't have to
disillusionment,
say
I feel like. was one of them.
Ravenclaw, but it could say like, well, no, because dark arts.
Stealthing.
So I'm thinking,
I think stealthing was one of them.
yeah, no, it probably isn't.
Poppy is stealthy.
Poppy.
Evil Poppy.
Wasn't that the name of? Oh my God, wasn't Poppy the name of that YouTuber that made really weird videos? She had like the white hair. She's like, I'm Poppy. Oh my God, I just remembered that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No wonder we're all like, Poppy's creepy.
Also, like Milk of Poppy, I'm pretty sure is Like poppy seeds, like drugs.
Oh.
We'll talk about it later.
Oh my gosh. So it looks like over half of the people who have voted say yes, the ministry will get communication from the ministry, but they'll get in our way. I think that makes sense to me given the history of Harry Potter, you know?
Yeah, but maybe there's a really competent leader, and Hogwarts is the disaster.
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Doubt.
I never
Big
thought
doubt.
of it that way.
Big doubt.
That's really all that I
That's
have
it.
about the papers, the memos. Oh, we should pull for...
Accio.
Should I pull?
Yeah, you pull.
Oh, don't look. Don't look at the papers, Lynette. Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, well, can I get the... Hold on.
Magical Theory podcast time.
One's ready. Let's go, Jeff.
Turn to page 670. 670. Veritaserum. Today's lesson is called Nothing But the Truth.
Oh.
Wait, do we need to play the intro?
I just did. That's why
Just the music.
That's why I was...
Okay, the actual intro is at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning? Okay. This is a long description. It was a long chapter. The chapter begins with Harry traveling by Portkey with Cup and Cedric in hand. He keeps his eyes shut as he lands, and people begin talking near him and to him and about him.
Oh, gosh.
The news that Cedric is dead passes through the crowd, and Dumbledore attempts to survey the situation. Fudge is panicked. Moody removes Harry from the crowd. In Moody's office, Harry answers the old auror's questions about his experience that night. Harry recounts some. The cup portkey, the graveyard, the restoration of Voldemort's body, their duel, priori incantatem, and the revelation that a Death Eater was at Hogwarts. Moody reveals himself to be the Death Eater, who put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire and helped him directly and indirectly to succeed at the tasks. Tonight, he stunned Fleur and Imperious Crumb to attack Cedric. He declares his intention to kill Harry, but as he raises his wand, Dumbledore's stunning spell crashes through the door and incapacitates him. Dumbledore gives Professors Snape and McGonagall instructions. He smells the polyjuice potion in Moody's flask and searches the office for the real Moody, finding him in a locked trunk. The professors return and Dumbledore administers Veritaserum to fake Moody and enervates him. Fake Moody reverts to Barty Crouch Jr. and under the effects of the potion shares the truth of what has happened. His survival and escape from Azkaban, his imprisonment by Winky and his father under the Imperious Curse, Bertha Jorkin's discovery of his survival and his father's memory charm on her, his reward for good behavior, the Quidditch World Cup, how he stole a wand at the match and used it to cast the dark mark in the sky, how his father's dismissal of Winky weakened the defenses, so when Voldemort and Wormtail arrived, they easily overpowered Barty Crouch Sr. and set Jr. free, and finally the plan to become Alistair Moody and enact everything that culminated early that night. Also, he killed his dad.
Yes. I was thinking, you know how they're coming out with that wand that, like, connects with your smart whatever? They should make the wand connect to the computer so you can scroll, because I was like, oh, wait, it's cut off. And then I was like, oh, no, I got to scroll
Should make
down.
the wand connect to the computer so you can actually cast in-game.
Oh, like they could have done with Harry Potter Wizard Unite. Oh.
Like the Wizarding World. P.S. He killed his dad, yes. I didn't actually write that, but as I was reading the thing, I was like, I left out the part where he kills his dad. I'm going to pop that in there.
Fine. It's fine. A lot happened. YouTube was like, this is too long, so I had to delete some stuff from the actual description. I just you can buy coffee from me later.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Jeff rambled.
No, I've left the full description.
I tried to be concise and just do lists.
Yeah.
But there was a lot. It was like a double exposition.
It was
because you have Harry scene with fake Moody, and then you have the Veritaserum scene.
The Veritaserum
Let
was
alone
super intense. So I rewatched the movie clip as well because I know that
because of Cedric's dad.
No, I
Later.
rewatched this chapter, basically. So I love the way that they condense this in movie form in, like, the clue-giving sort of way, because basically fake
you
Moody
Alistair Moody?
pulls him out.
No.
No, before that.
Okay.
But that whole... yes. You did a very good impression of that.
Is he in this room?
Yes. No, but he's asking Harry these questions, and then he starts having his, like, oh no.
The graveyard.
The graveyard. Where
That's
there are
not
others.
how it happens in the book.
It's not. But
Yeah,
I think it was clever how they did it, because they basically skipped a bunch of, like, dialogue to get to the point.
And they used the... Yes, the movie is a very good condensing. Much better than mine. Yes. Yeah, totally. Because they have him, marvelous creatures, dragons, that thing where it's like, instead of just being like, I helped him, I did this, and I did that.
It was very, when I was reading
you think
this,
Neville
I was
Longbottom,
like,
the witless wonder.
after all that, you're just going to be like, oh, it was me.
Yeah, no.
Like,
well, he's in the rush of, like, triumph,
Right, because at this point, he's like, I got Harry Potter.
And he knows Voldemort is back, not only because of the thing, but also Harry confirms it.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
I mean... my favorite part has always been and will always be when Dumbledore says, the real Moody would never have taken you away.
Yeah.
And that is because it gives you that sense of what Barty Crouch Jr. is saying, of how difficult it is to fool Dumbledore.
Yeah.
And, like, Dumbledore even acknowledges how brilliant the plan is. He's like, it has to be Moody because he always drinks from his hip flask. Mm-hmm. So in order to do Polyjuice Potion, like, Dumbledore would notice something weird. Mm-hmm. All of these things, like, I find it astonishing that he actually could fake Dumbledore in the sense that, like, they were friends for a long time, and, like, we know from the Pensive, like, know each other. So, like, they have shared memories probably, but anyway, given that, suspending my disbelief for a second and saying it is nice to have this more, like, but I understand the person, and he would never do this. He's an auror. He would never take the person who's, like,
so
been victimized away.
What we eventually find out is that Barty Crouch Jr. kept Moody alive and asked him questions, and so he got information. So you got so there's a difference though of, like, you can get the like gesturing, you can get the habits or the tics or whatever down, but in terms of
pieces of the body are very
fully,
helpful too.
In terms of fully, like, being that or impersonating that person, when put in a situation that is kind of, like, unusual, of, like, this is weird. And granted, Barty Crouch Jr. has a specific goal with taking Harry, but that's the thing that gives it away, where it's like, okay, this...
You also have the benefit of, like, Moody and Death Eaters being two sides of the same coin. Like, what separates them is sort of their choice, not necessarily their personality. They can be both gruff people, like, focused, powerful, suspicious, paranoid. Like, yeah. I think it's really interesting. And yeah, I mean, Barty Crouch Jr.'s story is, like, extremely sad. I find the inclusion of him under Veritaserum just saying, like, I always loved Quidditch. It startles me every time I read it. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's just because it humanizes it so much that this is a person. Yeah. And he made these choices, but he still has other things about him. It's not like he loves Quidditch out of spite. He just says it under Veritaserum. I always loved Quidditch. Yeah. So this was my reward. Yes, he used it, to freak out, but it's just it's an intense inclusion.
Intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing is intense.
Because it doesn't have to have that for the plan to sort of still flow and be like, oh, Winky wanted to give me a reward, so we decided to do the Quidditch World Cup. It's specifically, I always loved Quidditch. That one sentence is in there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a lot packed in. So I'm going to go off of what you said with Winky. Winky, in the description of, like, the story, Winky is way more independent than I thought. So,
Yeah.
like, when we meet her, she seems to be very... Because this is the tension with the house elf liberation thing.
Well, when do we meet her? At the Quidditch World Cup?
Well, we do meet her, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, when she gets to Hogwarts, because she got kicked out, and Dobby's trying to be like, oh, whatever, like, free the house elves, or whatever, do your own thing, dress however you want, and she's very much like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be done. But in the story, he's saying, like, all these things about Winky basically pushing Barty to give his son treats for being good, and, like, doing these things that seem like you are your own being,
has
you know?
a lot that she's keeping secret.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me in some serious way about Creature when he finally shares in the 7th book the story with Regulus, where like these house elves hold, and Dobby for that matter, they hold like these deep secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Winky is a little different than Dobby because she seems to be on board, kind of. It wasn't clear to me that she disagrees with Barty Crouch Sr.'s keeping his son under the Imperius. Like, maybe she knows that he's evil.
Yeah.
And has this sort of morality thing. Nevertheless, she still is fond of him to some extent. She would have grown up with him as a boy.
For sure. There's this, like, lawfulness to it of, like, these are the rules. Because even, like, the whole time she keeps saying, like, we're going to get in trouble. Like, that sort of thing. But it doesn't mean that she has to be cold.
And then she's very sad when she finds out that he killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot. So, like, the whole sort of comparisons where...
She feels a loyalty to the family in a way that Dobby definitely did not.
Yeah.
At least when we meet him.
Well, Dobby was also with the Malfoys, so you know he was...
Yeah, but Creature is with, the Blacks, and he seems to have loyalty. I mean, he fears Sirius's mom, I guess, but... Yeah.
House elves are different, is what we're getting at.
Totally. Winky is... This book is the place where the movies diverge really significantly for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And Winky, to me, is the biggest leave-out. Much bigger than Ludo Bagman. And bigger than the twins and which is part of the Ludo Bagman part. But, yeah, it's Winky. Winky is... really interesting because she does give context and nuance to the book ending of Dobby and Creature. Like where you learn about house elves with Dobby, and then you meet some unnamed ones in the kitchens, and then Creature is really important, and both of them are in the movies. But without Winky, there's something missing. I feel like by the time we get to Creature in the movies, I'm always sort of like, oh yeah, okay.
See, they should have left Winky in at the very least to make Winky merch so that we could have not just Dobby. All we have is Dobby. Creature doesn't even have any merch, I don't think.
Let's make some.
Let's make some Creature merch. We'll make our own Winky merch and make her...
Hero of the Battle of Hogwarts, Creature.
Oh my gosh.
He leads the house elves in battle.
Barty Crouch Jr. describes the similarities between himself and... the Dark Lord, which is really funny. So Tom Riddle Jr., as I'll to really rub it in his face, Tom Riddle Jr. and Barty Crouch Jr., being named after their fathers and whatever, even though Barty is basically just a copycat. Like, Voldemort did this all first, and then he's just kind of like, oh, yeah, like, it seemed forced to me of, like, yes, we are similar because all of this stuff, restoring the Dark Order and blah, 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 whatever. I actually want to back up to the beginning because I have a question about this. This is like the part of where I was like, I don't understand how you can live in a magical world. It would just be chaos. So, how was the winner of the Triwizard, like of the maze, getting to the Triwizard Cup first? How are they supposed to get out?
I've wondered the same thing. I always thought like when they grabbed it although it's not, the book kind of leads me to think, no, this is not true.
Yeah, I
that it
know.
was going to be a Portkey to the front.
That was
or
my
that
question.
it would just shut everything down and be like, and it would just magically
it would fall
disappear.
and like everyone would be like the hedges would fall. Because I was thinking, I was like, that would be a good thing to be like, oh hey, we're going to enchant this object and make it a Portkey so that the winner, the first to touch it, gets launched out to the front to get like whatever, and that would be Moody's in to like do it. But he says he doesn't say it that way. He says that he made it a Portkey specifically to do that.
Also, although I don't remember if we get more details from like Ron and Hermione about their experience during this, but I'm pretty sure, at least in the movie, this is the most boring sporting event to attend ever.
Not the
compared
lake,
to the dragon one.
The lake where
the lake one was pretty bad
they
too.
only had the dragon
like,
one, and the rest of the time they're just like, they're probably sneaking in butter beer in flasks or something and just like getting drunk in the stands. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Especially the first years, yeah.
So, okay. This is the chaos I'm talking about. If all you need to do is cast the Portkey Portis to make a Portkey.
Yes.
Why
You could do
is
that
it
on people all the
anything?
time.
Yeah, so...
Like, oh, you're about to grab your pencil, like, Portis, Azkaban.
Oh my god.
Dead.
So literally, like, creating Portkeys...
Off a cliff. Dead.
Creating Portkeys are
Middle of the ocean,
supposedly
dead.
restricted by the Ministry of Magic. Doesn't mean that people can't break the law,
Apparently, you can just pop a Portkey out there.
But this is what I'm saying, is like, why don't y'all make Portkeys out of anything? Like...
Portkey from your kitchen to your bedroom.
So much chaos. Like, I don't know. I can't. I feel like if I lived in the wizarding world, I would be paranoid. People can look like other people. You can have Portkeys at any second.
Oh my god. Imperious.
Imperious. Oh my gosh.
No, you're absolutely right. It is a terrifying spectacle. Around every turn.
Yeah.
Anything could go wrong.
Don't touch anything. Don't talk to anyone.
Moody is the only sensible person in the entire universe. Paranoid about everything.
I'm going to just drink out of a flask that I keep on my body.
Yes, of course. He's the only one who does that.
Yeah.
Everyone would do that. Thank you very much. No memories for you. That's right.
Oh my
Correct.
gosh. I also have a question about faux glass. I think
I love the use of faux glass in this chapter.
I think I kind of am okay with it ultimately, but so my question is like, so it's supposed to show the owner's enemies.
Yeah.
But anyone can look at it and see stuff, because Harry sees the figures.
Crouch Jr.'s enemies.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if this is Moody's faux glass, is it just being tricked by the Polyjuice, but then it somehow knows the essence of Barty Crouch Jr. and knows to reflect that back? Like, it doesn't quite fit, because I'm like, if you're smart enough to know that you should show Barty Crouch Jr.'s enemies, then you should be smart enough to know this isn't the owner
maybe there's
of the
like
faux
a
glass.
like a fingerprint thing, and you're like, oh, now you do it for me, not him.
Oh, like, how does that work? Yeah, so
maybe it was never Moody's. Maybe there was a different one.
Well, maybe it's I don't know. So I had questions about how it operates and like if it's owner or whatever. But if anyone can look into the glass and see the reflection of enemies, that doesn't seem like a secure object, just like pensives aren't a secure object. If you don't want people to know who your enemies are, like, you don't want it just like laying on a shelf so that anyone can be in there,
it only shows them clearly if they're like near you, so you could find out if you're that person's enemy, which would have been interesting, because Harry should be Barty Crouch Jr.'s enemy, and he looked in it and he didn't see himself. Plot hole revealed.
People have talked about that and speculated that it's not that he doesn't see Harry as an enemy, he sees it as like an objective or something.
Agreed.
But I think here's my Shark Tank pitch to the Wizarding World. So instead of making like a mirror that's like a big mirror that anyone can like see, why don't you like do like an adaptation of a Google Glass where you have like glasses, but then you have this like tiny mirror that's like
Program
in the
it
corner.
into his eye.
Or do something where it's just like it's more confined so that people don't see who your enemies are or know that you are seen as an enemy of somebody. You know,
right.
Like if I think that Moody and I are best friends, and I walk up and look at his faux glass and see my reflection, I'm gonna feel some type of way about it. So
Sad.
I'm gonna feel sad. Oh my god.
So if you're your own worst enemy, is it just a regular mirror?
Well, so this is what I was wondering, is that like if because I had questions about like, well, if there was that moment Snape is seeing his reflection, but it kind of speaks to like I think Snape's whole like internal thinking about whatever's going on here. But I was thinking about that, like what if this was Snape's faux glass and he saw
Harry.
But he also saw himself in the mirror. That would be funny. Well, it wouldn't be funny, it would be sad.
Like not ha-ha funny, but you know.
Not ha-ha funny.
Irony funny.
Oh my gosh. Indeed.
Also, Harry's seeing Dumbledore in a new light.
Dumbledore has flames in his
no
eyes.
No twinkle in his eye.
No, it is
no
rage.
Smile on his face.
It is absolute rage. So the quote I wrote down from this chapter is actually from Dumbledore. It's when McGonagall is trying to usher Harry out, and he's like, no, he needs to understand. And he says, understanding is the first step to acceptance, and only with acceptance can there be recovery. Dumbledore always popping in at the end of books with wisdom.
That's why he has it recovered. I don't know. I just say things.
I just say things. I do have a fun fact about.
Is it actually fun or is it sad?
It's more like a piece of trivia
right,
for you. Okay, so enervate, that was in your description.
Yes.
So that actually was changed in later books and iterations, even in Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore. That spell, it's the reviving spell that brings someone awake when they're unconscious. And
it's renervate?
It's actually renervate now. And the reason that it was changed is because enervate means to weaken, and renervate means to energize.
Renew. I see.
So
interesting.
But we have it in the text, and it says enervate, probably because it's like an older edition. But I wonder if,
although I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure there's a related word, innervate, with an I.
I don't know.
In real
life
world, yeah. But I think renervate is also a spell in D&D.
Well, yes. So, yes.
To heal.
Because I think when I Googled it, that was one of the things that
many games that
I
played. Renovation. Yeah.
I think so. When I looked up on the wiki, it said that it was pronounced renervate.
That's a really renervate.
Well, so
this changes everything.
Spoilers, I guess, but this doesn't really give you any spoiler for what this means. But when Grindelwald is like doing the bringing back to life thing, he does a series of incantations, and I guess in that scene, I didn't go back to find a clip of him doing it, but it seems like that's how he pronounced it. So it could just be Mads Mikkelsen's pronunciation.
There you go.
Who?
Enervate.
Innervate.
So that to me is what maybe she was trying to do, is play on that, because it brings him back to consciousness.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps.
So interesting. A great fun fact. I love words, as you know. So.
Oh my gosh.
Enervate.
Mm-hmm.
Renervate.
Yeah. No, I like enervate and renovate. It sounds better to
renovate?
me. Yeah, just renovate.
Yeah, I renovated his brain.
He needed a renovation.
Cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Quick oblivion.
To a new modern style. No. Okay. So Barty Crouch, we already mentioned this, but Barty Crouch using the Imperious Curse on his own son is intense. And so the thought that crossed my mind, this is kind of dark.
That whole plot is intense.
Yeah.
The mom switching places.
I don't
can we talk
understand
another
that part.
magical theory moment?
Okay.
So he says very specifically
Yep.
that his mom was like clockwork and took the polyjuice potion until she died.
Yes.
Which means, one, they were able to give her enough. Like, did she like die like almost immediately?
Maybe
but
they
two,
sent her L's with
either they bury her within an hour, or if you die under the effects of Polyjuice Potion, you stay as that person. Because he says she was buried as me, looking like me the whole time.
Oh.
Which means either they complete the entire process within the hour, or you stay that way.
That's creepy.
Or
That's creepy. Or they just shoved it in her mouth and was like, here, consume this. I don't know. Yeah, so this is such a dark comment to make, but what I was thinking, because the Imperious spell or curse, we kind of talked about it a little bit with Harry and Voldemort in the graveyard.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I was like, well, if you hate your son so much and you only did this to, like, make your wife happy, why didn't you just abandon him after? Like, why did you keep him alive?
Oh my god. Yeah, or just turn him back in. Because he doesn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. I don't know. I said at least...
But he's probably honoring... Because Barty Crouch Jr. even says, like, he always loved her like he didn't love me. And I'm like, Jesus.
At least,
so
I know,
sad.
it was very sad. At least Imperious is better than Avada. This
is it better? I'm sorry. Is it better? It's not better. It's worse.
Well, with Imperious, the same thing that I said in the other episode is that at least it can be resisted.
Yes.
Because, and this is weird because it seemed that Barty Crouch Jr. built up a tolerance in some sense of, like, he grew stronger.
Yes, or Barty Crouch Sr. is weakening.
Or weaker. Both could be true, yes, because he's getting older, maybe, and maybe he's just... I'm sure it's exhausting to constantly cast Imperio on somebody. Like...
You would think so.
I don't know. And...
I mean, it's just really sad.
How did baby Voldemort have enough strength to cast Imperious on Barty Crouch?
Yeah. I don't know.
He's a baby. He's a little shell of... Okay, baby makes him sound cute. He's a shell of a being.
Yeah, it was... That's why I thought having Winky not there is really important. Because Winky and Barty Crouch Sr. might have been able to repel the attack of Voldemort and Wormtail.
Yeah.
I mean, Winky keeps Barty Crouch Jr. at her side.
Yes.
While Barty Crouch Jr. has a wand.
Yep.
And she won't let him go. Like, we know that house elves are extremely powerful.
Yep. Poor little Winky. Winky needs a spin-off series. I don't know what that would be.
Winky in the brain.
Winky in the brain. The boss baby.
It's very sad. It's tragic. He is clearly evil.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of the causes.
Yeah.
Like, he is making conscious decisions.
The thing that I think is different with Barty Crouch Jr. and Tom Riddle Jr. is Tommy Boy never knew his dad. He never knew either of his parents. He wasn't...
Yeah, it's more of an idyllic thing, I feel like.
Yeah. But at the least, this is the partial defense of Barty Crouch Jr., his dad hated him. He was Imperious. Well, I guess that was, like, after the Dark Lord stuff. So there was a reason for those things. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's not like he Imperious him before the trial.
I take back my defense.
No, it's good to explore, like, why would this person be like this? It's not clear. I mean... Sometimes I guess we just have to accept that people make decisions that we would not. And then sometimes those decisions also require action on our half.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's wild. It's a wild chapter. There's so much information.
Yeah.
Even on rereading it, I'm like, oh, yeah, this and this and this and this and this and this. Like, Dobby with the gillyweed. The early book with Neville.
I kind of love
didn't ask anyone.
The second task almost imploded everything.
Yeah.
And it was just a bunch of series of things. I was like, I tried this, and then I did
like,
that. And
Crouch is like, Harry, you're
too proud.
is, like almost ruined everything.
Yeah. Also, I admire this Winky in the Brain Tank as the possible name of the series. We can make. Is there a Winky Lego? Is there a House of Lego that we can make into Winky?
I'm not sure. Maybe life size.
A life-size Winky, just in the background.
There was at the Lego store a life-size Harry face.
Made of Lego?
And a Hermione one, yeah. No, we're not getting that. We're going to get a set piece one. No, my God, no.
And then you get jump scared in the night when you're like trying to turn on the light.
No.
Oh my
I want
goodness.
the Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley
Much
would be
better.
really cool. We already have... Oh, Hogsmeade.
We still have to put together our one out there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
That was it. That's all I have.
That's all. We are
Winnie
almost
is
done with this
asleep.
book. We are...
Winston is asleep. Sometimes we call Winston
Prisoner.
Winky.
We call him Winky because he's so cute. And he winks sometimes when he like that. Exactly. All right. Well.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Wands
Wands ready.